may think this is a great idea, or you may think it's a manipulative conspiracy by the greeting card and tourist industry. But either way, you have to be pretty tuned out not to know about it. Now, as a new pastor here, I suppose I should let you know that I generally don't preach Mother's Day sermons. Nothing against mothers or Mother's Day. It's just that I think worship needs to stay focused on God. Worship is our offering to God. It is about drawing close to God. But there are constant temptations to make worship about something else. Some of you may be familiar with the critique of worship by Soren Kierkegaard, the 19th century philosopher and theologian. Kierkegaard spoke of worship as drama, but he thought that the church too often got confused about who played what roles in this drama. He complained that very often God was understood to be a director of some sort, with the preacher, the liturgist, and the musicians as the actors, and the congregation was the audience. Kierkegaard thought this was entirely wrong. In the drama of worship, he said, the preacher, the liturgist, musicians are prompters in the drama, and they, along with the congregations, are actors. But it is God who is the audience. I'm with Kierkegaard on this, and that is the reason that I generally don't honor mothers on Mother's Day, or America on the 4th of July, or Presbyterian Heritage on Presbyterian Heritage Sunday, which is next Sunday, if anybody can. That's not to say I never speak of America on the 4th of July, or don't ever speak of mothers on Mother's Day. In fact, I think that mothers, or maybe more specifically the law that many mothers give, may be instructive in helping us understand what Jesus tells us this morning. I think that one of the reasons Mother's Day has a little more traction than Father's Day is that a lot of us learn more about love from our mothers than from our fathers. No knock on dads here, and I know there are plenty of exceptions, but for a lot of us, the hands-on, real love that we receive came more from our mothers. Now, when people in our culture talk about love, they often talk about things of the heart, about warm feelings, about passions. Now, I certainly hope that my mother had warm feelings for me. I'd like to think there's a special place in her heart for me. But I am assured of my mother's love more by those things she does for me, those ways that she has cared for me, the sacrifices that she has made for me, more than any feelings. And I think that a lot of times when we think about the love of a mother, we also think more about those sort of things, more about changing diapers, more about bandaging skint knees, trips to the park, delivering forgotten homework to school, care packages at college, a financial gift received right at a desperate moment. We think of those things more than feelings. The love that Jesus commands us this morning certainly includes feelings. Being kindly disposed towards others. But the love Jesus commands is real, tangible, like the love of a mother. He speaks of it bearing fruit that will last. And he says that the supreme example of this love is to lay down one's life for one's friends. I don't know if you noticed this, but Jesus seems to speak of love and friendship almost as though they were synonyms. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. You are my friends if you do what I command you. Now that I moved to Paul's church area, I started to get friend requests on Facebook from some of the members of the church and others in the area. I generally don't send out friend requests to church members. I've never wanted to put people in a position of perhaps having to say no the very first time it happens. But I'll accept a friend request from just about anyone. According to Facebook, I have 437 friends. Now, if you're not on Facebook, that may sound like a lot, but if you're on Facebook, you know better. I certainly know people with a lot more friends, thousands of people. Of course, friend here is used in a distinctive Facebook sort of way. I don't know some of my Facebook friends. I've never met many of them. I'm not sure why some of them wanted to be friends. And I occasionally get a message or a comment from a friend that I don't realize is one of my friends. Now, I'm not complaining. I have a problem with Facebook style friendship. I've had many wonderful conversations on Facebook and on Twitter. I've even felt like I've grown to know some of these people. But this sort of friendship is not the sort Jesus is talking about when he speaks to his disciples. The friendship, the relationship Jesus talks about is more like that one friend you've had for all those years. That person you would tell things you wouldn't even tell your spouse or your partner. The person that you call up when you're wrestling with a difficult decision. This relationship is an intimate thing. And that person would drop everything, no matter how important it was, the minute the other person called. When Jesus says, "You are my friends if you do what I command you," I don't think that he's saying he'll be our friend if we do what he wants. Rather, I think Jesus is describing what it looks like when we enter into this intimate friendship with him. We want to drop everything and do as he asks. Now, I'm not sure how much to make of this, but the way the original Greek of the Gospels says the word friend is to take the word beloved and put a "thee" in front of it. Translated literally, the Greek way to say friend is to say the beloved. Now, I may be making too much out of a quirk of Greek grammar, but it does seem to me that Jesus certainly speaks of beloved intimacy when he speaks to his disciples about friendship. The sort of friendship, relationship that would die for the other. For whatever reason, many of us do not have a relationship like that with Jesus. A lot of us are more Facebook friends with God. We clicked on confirm when Jesus sent us that friend request. And we occasionally pay attention to something that Jesus posts. But we don't really know him. Not in any deep sort of way. And we've got lots of other friends, lots of other priorities. We're really busy. No way we can drop everything just because Jesus wants something. Better keep this Facebook-type relationship. In just a few moments, we're going to celebrate the sacrament of baptism. Sometimes people think of that as that thing we do today. Not that we don't make a big deal out of it. Families are invited, pictures get taken, sometimes there's a party afterwards. Not unlike a first birthday party. We do make a big deal about it, but I'm not sure we always appreciate the intimate thing that is going on in baptism. are joined to Christ, become connected with His death and His resurrection. In the waters of baptism, we become something new. The Apostle Paul speaks of having an entirely new quality of life when we are in Jesus. In the waters of baptism, we become brothers and sisters with Jesus, and so children of God. In the waters of baptism, we are initiated into the same sort of relationship with the Father that Jesus had. In the waters of baptism, the Spirit of the risen Christ comes to dwell with us. I could go on and describe it in many different ways, but just suffice to say that in the waters of baptism, God seeks to draw us into the deepest and most intimate love and friendship. So why? Why would we settle for a Facebook page? All praise and glory to the God whose love seeks us out in Jesus, who calls us His friend, lays down His life